Okay, hi guys. So this was me at Ola Cooperative Care. Ola Cooperative Care is a shelter that well, it's not a shelter, but it's like an in-home like a facility, I suppose, that USC, I believe it's USC or Santa Monica College, University or whatever, they paid like the hospital paid like $3,000 to get me into the shelter. I was on the street and I was drinking alcohol heavily. I didn't know what else to do. I was super depressed. And so I drank it so much that I passed out. And literally, like, the security was horrible. They took so long just to pick me up. This once the ambulance showed up, the it was Caucasian people too, and I mean they're the most serious because they take this country more serious than anybody, right? And that's why I appreciate them the most, because when the Spanish community showed up, they literally let me sit on that floor for like hours telling me, Sandra, do you need help? I said, yeah, I need help. Obviously someone needs help if they're lying there in vomit. And they just didn't want to help me. They were waiting for me to die. They were waiting for me. You know what I mean? And I was just sitting there like, this is the worst way. Like, if you're going to come to this country, be serious about the citizens of this country. You never know whose life you're saving. Always do your part and always do it right. Don't act like your other employees. If they want to be like assholes, you pull out your cameras and you get them fired. And I'm not playing. I'm not playing, because at this point, if somebody worked very hard to build a company so you can have a job, the least you can do is do the honorable thing by reporting your coworkers for not doing the right thing. They have to do the right thing. You have to make sure that every security guard is being respectful to the customers, because they're the ones that are shopping. They're the ones that are helping keep the business alive, right? So it took so long. Finally, the ambulance shows up and he's like, oh my God. And it was like, we're going to throw this blanket away. They put me in the ambulance. They take me to the hospital. They give me an IV of Vivitrol. And finally, Vivitrol is what helped me get sober. And I've been on Vivitrol for almost a year, for about a year now. And I relapsed one time. When I was over here at Ola Corporate, like, you see, the shelter is nice. I mean, it's not bad, you know, that they have a little locker so you can't have too many clothes. So they weren't letting a lot of women have clothes because a lot of women weren't keeping their lockers clean, right? But I was definitely keep doing my best to keep my locker clean. At the time, I was going through literal hell, to the point where I could have died. I could have jumped out of a building of somewhere. I could have ran out and been lost, and they wouldn't have cared about me. Because when the Spanish community showed up and they started, first of all, Spanish people are more racist than you ever think. They're so racist and they don't care. And it's like the minute they see a black girl, they automatically act like they don't care. And it's like, if you don't care about the black community, what do you think that the white community is going to feel about you if they're here? If black people have been here way before you were here, right? Just think about that. Black people were here way before you were here. If black people did perfect at their work, you wouldn't even be needed. You would come for vacation and leave. But you're needed because these black people didn't complete their work, because black people are abused. And the abuse went on and on and on from one generation to another. When will the abuse stop? When America starts to build programs to protect the citizens of this country. Illegal immigrants cannot come into this country, especially with their rules, and they don't even know how to protect and save people. If you're going to come into this country, you have to come in here legally. And you have to be ready to learn and ready to work. This is school. This is not just a place to party. This is not a place to party. You can party if you want. You're free to have a good time. But if your good time is going to cost you your green card or your citizenship, then you might as well just not even waste your time. But I advise every single one of you, if you come into this country, to focus on your education. If you come to relax, go ahead and relax, then go back to your country. But it was just unbelievable. At Ola Cooperative Care, there was a guy that came inside of the room and literally tried to, started having sex with another roommate of mine in the girls' restroom. Guess who got persecuted for reporting the problem? Sandra. I'm sensing that they kicked me out because they're doing wrong, or because they were afraid, everybody was going to, they never liked the snitch, right? It's not snitching, it's correction. Every shelter needs to be corrected because you can't break the law, and you can't, what is it called? Go against people's human rights. If the boys have to be in one room, they have to stay there. You have to respect the people at these shelters and their rules. Those are the rules. Those were the rules, and the rules must be followed. And the thing about it is that there are some people that were there that were not persecuting the people that were breaking the rules, because they know that, they need the shelter people to be there in order for the shelter to still exist. So they can barely do any controlling of the situations, right? So everybody's in there smoking cigarettes, doing their thing. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad because what was going on worse was my mental health. I want you guys to be gentle and to be careful, because if we can live with the homeless and work and be gentle, you guys can do it too. Right? It's still a business. It's not your house. It's a business. It's somebody's business. And they're working for the government. They're helping the government. These shelters can be built better. They can be better. All that money on a Ferrari, expensive car, is just sitting there for what? When people's lives matter. Shelters need to be nice. I mean, it was nice that we had our own TV that we could just sit and watch a movie while we wait to be housed. They took so long to house people. They don't even, they didn't start housing people until I got there. Luckily, I had Brilliant Corners on my side, right? They didn't even know where to find these vouchers. They had no clue. It's connecting with organizations like Brilliant Corners, connecting with Path, working as a team. If you do the right thing, people are gonna want to work with you, because these people are collecting money from rich people. So I'm pretty sure you guys are too. But if you're not doing the right thing, they're gonna be like, well, why should we finance programs if they're not following the rules, if they're not running the business the way the business should be run, right? If they're not hiring the right candidates, or if they're being racist, discriminative, whatever the issue is, right? So I heard they used to sell cigarettes, which is not too bad, because some people, they choose to smoke cigarettes, but I think it's better to make it a smoke-free environment. Smoke-free environment is important. You don't want to go against people's human rights. If you're going to smoke outside. I don't think it's okay to interfere, because a lot of people, they're recovering. So it's not like they can quit smoking right away. It takes time. So until we find something that can help them quit right away, you just have to let them smoke if that's the